Hi there, my name is Jason Perkins. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of my Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. I'm an attorney that specializes in Georgia workers' compensation cases. I created this series to provide you with helpful information about the rules and benefits of Georgia workers' compensation law. Today I want to talk to you about one of those benefits. And those are your weekly workers' compensation checks that you may receive if you're out of work because of your injury, if you're back at work but making less money, or if you received a permanent partial disability rating. And the issue that comes up a lot of times for people who are receiving those weekly workers' compensation checks is that the checks don't seem to show up on time. One week they may come on Monday, the next week it may be Wednesday, and then they may not get a check for a week or two. So what are the rules about when the insurance company is supposed to pay you your workers' compensation check in Georgia workers' compensation cases? There's pretty straightforward rules. And those are that they're supposed to pay your checks weekly and that they're supposed to mail them by a certain time. The basic rule is that if the insurance company is mailing the check from within Georgia, they have to mail it by the last day that that check is paying you for. So, if they're mailing you a check for January 1st to January 7th, they have to put it in the mail properly addressed by January 7th. Once it's in the mail, whatever happens with it is not their responsibility, but it is their responsibility to get it in the mail on time with proper postage and properly addressed. If they don't mail the check on time, then they owe you a late penalty for that check of 15%. Now, sometimes insurance companies are mailing checks from outside of Georgia, because there are insurance companies that do business all across the nation now, but provide Georgia workers' compensation insurance coverage. So when a check's being mailed from outside of Georgia, the insurance company has to mail it for 3 days before the last day that it's paying you for. So let's take that same example from earlier. Let's say it's a check being mailed from outside of Georgia, paying you for January 1st to January 7th. That check would have to be mailed by 3 days before, so it needs to be mailed on January 4th, put in the mail with proper postage, properly addressed. If it was not, then the insurance company would owe you a 15% penalty. So, in Georgia workers' compensation cases, it doesn't matter so much when you get your check as where the insurance company is mailing it from and when they mail it by that determines whether your check is late or not. Insurance companies can pay a check early if they want to, but as long as they mail it by the deadline, they don't owe you a late penalty. If they don't mail by the deadline, though, they will owe you a late penalty. And there are a couple of good ways to check about whether a check is late or not. Once you understand the rules, when you get your check, you'll probably want to look at the date that the check was issued. Because if the date that the check was issued was after it should have been in the mail, then you know that check's late. The other thing that you can look at, even if the date of the check is on time, is the postmark if there's one on the outside of the envelope. Because they could have printed the check earlier but not mailed it till later. The postmark should tell you the date that the check was probably mailed on. So if the postmark is after the check should have been mailed, then you know that check is late as well. So you'll probably want to keep that information in case you need to prove to the insurance company that the check was late if they don't voluntarily pay the penalties. I hope you found this information about workers' compensation checks and when they're late helpful. If you have, please let me know. The best way to do that is by giving this video a thumbs up or liking it, or you can comment on it as well. I'd be happy to hear those comments and respond to them. If you'd like to see more episodes from the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series, they're all available on our Perkins Studdard Workers' Compensation channel on YouTube. You can also subscribe there if you'd like to be notified of future videos as they come out. If you have some particular questions about other areas of Georgia workers' compensation law or just more questions about workers' compensation weekly checks, I'd be happy to discuss those with you. The best way to do that is by setting up a free consultation with me. There's 2 easy ways you can do that. The first is by visiting our website, www.perkinslawtalk.com, where you can complete and submit a consultation request form. The second is by calling the phone number on the bottom of the screen. You can speak with one of our workers' compensation team members in our office, and we'll be happy to get a free consultation scheduled for you. I'd like to thank you again for watching this video today, and I wish you the best of luck as you recover from your injury.